Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much. Hey, I just wanted to show you something today that kind of evolved. I was starting to try to make a border, but ended up with Scrapbook page and a few other ideas. So I want to use the brand new secret box number 2 items today. They were released, or the box was no longer a secret as of Friday. And so I want to show you. It's called Music to My Ears. And so let's go ahead and go to the desktop and take a look at it. Okay, this is it. So what came in the box was this border maker cartridge. The secret boxes this year have a very exclusive border maker cartridge. You can see the color is this really pretty teal color, quite different from just the smoke black on our regular border maker cartridges. That just tells you that it came out of a secret box, which were limited edition. They are available on the website right now if you missed out when they first came out last month. So you can still get them, but if you want one and you have not talked to your advisor yet, I advise you to get it ASAP because I'm sure they're going to be gone. Uh, the secret boxes this year, there's going to be 4. If you purchase all 4 of them, you will have the option of purchasing a 5th one, an exclusive 5th one, but only if you buy all 4. And secret box number 1 was back available for sale also this week. So get a hold of your advisor, get one right away, or just go to her website. If you don't have an advisor, I would be happy to help you out. And you can go to my website, www.creativememories.com/user/Deanne Castro, and get one. Okay, so this is super fun. So this was the sticker pack. It has really cool stickers, all having to do with music and like concerts. So I have not been to a concert in a very long time, but I love music. And my grandkids love music, and my kids loved music growing up. Pictures I probably haven't scrapbooked yet. Shame on me. But so I got plenty of pictures to use for these. Then this was the laser cut borders. They came in black, or the other side is white, and there's 2 of each. So I just thought these stars and music notes were so cool. So you get 2 of those. There's this one that I used today. So there's only 1 in this packet. And there's this one of the crowd taking photos, screaming and yelling for concerts, which I also used today. And then there's the full music staffs. These will make great borders for your photos and your pages. So then there's 2 paper packs. Music to My Ears. There is the designer paper pack, lots of really cool tickets and headphones and phonograph records and stuff like that. And then a tone on tone paper pack that has colors perfectly suited to match the designer paper pack. And I used both of these today. So then there was also a card. I don't know what happened to mine, but the card had a QR code that would take you to several really cool page ideas. I'm not doing that today, but I just might do it a little later. Okay, so this is what I came up with. As just using the border. But I thought, okay, it needs a little more. So I took the full 12-inch border strip here and cut it down, used the white side so it show out better. Use the border maker cartridge to make a border for the page. Then I also used another one of the 12-inch laser cut borders to put along here. Now it could be a little much for you, because I think it might be a little much for me, but I love the way it came out. And a journaling box. For this journaling box, I used the Write On stickers with Creative Memories. These have two different sizes of stickers that you can use to write on your pages, to journal on your pages. You see this? This is a thin, kind of the narrow notebook paper size, which is what I used here. And then there was another size on the other side that is the wider ruled. It's kind of hard to see these. You can sort of see the definitions right there. Okay, so you get one of each on here. And for this journaling box, I used the wider ruled up here for the title, and then the more narrow ruled ones for my journaling. Then, got a little fancy on you. I used, let's see, let me push this back a little bit. The peekaboo pockets. Because if you go to a concert or you take lots of photos at a music event, you probably have more photos than just for 2 pages. So I used the peekaboo pockets on these. And it really is a great way to add more photos to your pages without adding more pages. So you could have done, say a 4-page spread, which would be great. But if you don't have quite enough for a 4-page spread, add a couple of peekaboo pockets and you can add quite a few more photos. Okay, so I'm going to show you kind of what I did today. You can delete, you can add, you can do whatever you would like, but I'm going to show you my next page to make the second double page spread for this one. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way. And here's all the pieces to do the second page. So this was just the leftover piece from that 12-inch border that I made. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to make this border. So I'll move the rest of this here. And then this will be the background page. So what I did to be able to kind of make a yellow curtain out of this is just a leftover piece. This is just a scrap. And to get it to look like this, you're going to turn the paper over. And then you're going to turn the embellishment over. And then I lined it up on my mat so that it's straight up and down here. And I'm going to move this over 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so here on my mat, I have the 1-inch mark, I have the 1/2-inch mark, and this is the 1/4 right in the middle, right there. Because what I want is just 1/8 of an inch on either side of this. I don't want a big mat on this. So I'm going to line this up. And then I'm going to put this here at 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to trace this with a pencil. And that's why I'm using the back of the paper. Okay, just make sure it's straight. And I'm just tracing. And I want it to be straight. So when I cut it, it'll leave me with 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I'm just going to hand cut this with my scissors. Okay. I know I'm being brave. And so I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to do it easy. Take my time. And cut this out. Okay, I'm gonna get this little knob here. Cut around. And cut the rest. Now, I really kind of want to be careful on this. I don't want to get in a hurry because I really do want that full quarter of an inch or eighth of an inch on each side of this. So I don't want to cut inside the line or outside the line. I want it to look as close as possible. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over. And that's pretty close. Okay, this is going to go on the left-hand side of the page. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put some adhesive on this using repositionable down in the center. And then I can use my regular adhesive for the top part. I just don't like using too much of the repositionable because I use way too much of it and then it gets just a little expensive. Okay, so I'm going to center this on here, just going to eyeball it. It should give me that eighth of an inch on both sides. Okay, and I'm done with this piece. So it's going to look like this along the edge. Okay. Now, I don't know about you. I liked it, but it didn't give me as much of a decoration on the page as I would have liked. So I thought, well, I don't want to use this all the way across the bottom. I really only want to use part of it, but I had just a few of them along here that had their arms up in the air. So I didn't want to have too much of this border, but I thought if I put along here, that would be enough. But the black didn't give me enough contrast. So I turned it over to the white side. And I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. We'll just build this as we go along. So then you guys can see what you like, how much you would like to add, and still save plenty of room for your photos and your journaling. Because you probably heard me say before, the most important part of scrapbooking are your photos and your journaling, your who, what, when, where. Okay, that really is the most important part. So you remember who was in the photos and what you were doing at the time. Now, some of you who may have really good memories may think, oh, I'm not going to forget that. Believe me, when you get to be 30, 40 years down the road from your photos, it's kind of easy to forget those types of details. So when you've got journaling boxes on your page, you can remember everything you want. And if you get really good at it, you don't even really have to be good at it, but you get to the point where you put down your feelings, what you were thinking and what you really enjoyed about these things instead of just the basics. Okay. So I did this journaling box. I'm going to see where it fits on here. This is going to kind of go on last. But so I thought, okay, I like this. Well, I don't like it plain. So I pulled out another piece of paper and I'm just going to cut this about the same length as this is. Maybe bring it out another eighth of an inch. So this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and almost a quarter inches long. So if I trim this, pull this out. If I trim this to just a little over 4 1/4, it'll probably be about the length I'm looking for. There's a quarter, there's a little more. Okay, and as you can see, I'm just using scraps, things that I've already cut as I've been working on these. I put this here. Yep, that's what I needed. Just a little bit beyond that. Okay. You can make it as big or as little as you want. This is just kind of the effect I was looking for. It doesn't need to be this tall. So I think I'm just going to trim it down just a little bit. It is 2¼ inches tall at the moment. So I'm going to bring it in about 1/8, maybe 1/4 inch. Let's see where it goes if I put it all the way up to 1/4. Because I want to have enough to have the hands still on it. Maybe just 1/8 of an inch here. So this is kind of how I just played with it, just to see the size that I wanted. Okay. Now I'm going to adhere this to the back of this. But I didn't put adhesive on this part right here. Not yet, because what I want to do, and I'll put the adhesive on here for now. What I want to do is I want the curtain. I'll have to lift this up because I put adhesive all the way to the bottom. Is have the people lift a little more. All the way to the edge. Okay, all the way to the edge of the curtain. Okay, now I'll put the adhesive on the edge here. And then put a little bit of adhesive here to hold it down. Okay. Now, see, that's really all you would need. Then you may want to have something up here in the corner, like maybe the journaling box. These are little pieces just for in another few minutes. Okay. You can put your journaling box up here, or you can even add a few stickers around your photos. Wherever your photos, lay them out on here, see where they're going to fit, and then you'll know how much room you have. Okay. But then I thought, well, I'm not quite satisfied with just that. I kind of would like to use more of the 12-inch border and add a little bit of color behind it. So I just took like a little 1/2-inch piece of paper and put it behind this black. So I could put this up here. And then the journaling box can go down a little bit further. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you like that? Do you think that's enough? For me, that would probably be enough, but I did go one step further because I kind of wanted to use this border maker cartridge. Okay, so I'm going to put it in here, and I'm not going to adhere that down quite yet. I'm going to get the paper holder, and I'm just going to use a sheet of this yellow paper. This is really cool. Encore, We Made It, the band, Sing Along, Music to My Soul. There's a guitar right there. Isn't that cool paper? And it's similar things on the back. But I'm going to use the yellow to just pull the yellow across. move this all the way up to the edge of the cartridge right here. Put that piece back underneath, and I'm going to punch this. Now this one's really easy to punch. This one stays on the paper, so it doesn't use an 1/8 of an inch cut on the top. So you don't really have to worry about it getting stuck like some of the others as you go along. You have to be a little more careful. Okay, so there's music notes, there's microphones, there's stars. There's a lot of these really cool things that you can use for other things or for your page. Okay. Then I cut this at about 1.5 inches. I wanted a little bit of extra on the edge to add a little more color. Okay, and now I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of this one just to match the other page. Let's see. I think I want the stars. So I'm going to do the 1/2 inch off the other side here. Oh, I cut, let's see, the wrong side. Okay, so see, I cut it wrong because I don't want the 1/2 inch piece on this side. I want the 1/2 inch piece on the other side. So what I should have done was cut this on the back side. So I'm going to do that again. And I'll be right back. Recut that. And this time I cut it from the back side. I cut it from the red side because I wanted that extra 1/2 inch piece on the right because I'm going to put it up against the right-hand side of the page. Okay. Just so it matches the one on the other side. So I'll put adhesive on this one. And I'm going to line it right up on the edge of this border. Okay. Now I didn't really like it on the red paper. So I thought, well, what will make these guitars and stuff stand out better? So I found a strip of the black shimmer paper pack, and I only need about 1 inch. So I'm going to trim this down to about 1 inch. It's going to need to go on the back side. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see it. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive on these little areas here. I'm using the repositionable here just because it's a lot easier to maneuver repositionable tape around the piece, around all these little pieces. The regular adhesive would be a little large. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to just cover up all of the music notes and stuff. Okay, see how it really added to it? So then it draws the yellow color across, and it really makes a really cool border for this page. Now, you can leave it like this if you want, leave this added on there, or you can add this to it like I did on the other side. And I actually really like that on there. It's really cool. But the more stuff you add on your page, the less room you have for your photos. So be careful with that, okay? I'm going to move this for a second. I'm going to find the guitars. And I'm actually going to use the guitars from a different paper that I cut out. This had a bunch of really cool black and white stars on it. So I'm just going to add a few of these in here. Put that back in there. So isn't this fun? You can just add other colors back into those slots, and it really just adds to your page. Okay, then you would add this here. And then if you want, you can add this here. And now you're ready for your photos. So make sure your journaling box is on here somewhere, okay? And let's see, I think I'll cut a couple of black and white mats or black mats. If I used a 6x4 photo, my mat will need to be either 4.5 or 4.25. I like the smaller mats. So I'm going to cut this here, cut this at 6.25. Then I think I'll probably have one that's 4x4. So this one is 4.25. Cut this at 4.25. Maybe at this 4.25 again. Now, granted, my photos could be all kinds of different sizes. But I'm just kind of guessing right here on what I'm going to put on here. Okay, so if I have a 4x4 photo here, I can put a 4x6 here, and you can overlap your decorations. Okay, don't be afraid to overlap onto your decorations, just because you want people looking at your photos, not only your decorations. Okay, and this one's a little big. We may need to go a little smaller than that. But for the time being, I'm going to slide this under here. Okay, so then you'd add your photos. So we'd have a 6x4 here. Oh, you know what would be fun is if you didn't have the square ones. So we pull these out, but you add in a couple of circles. How's that? What do you guys think about that? And you don't have to mat all of your photos. There you go. So the really nice thing though is you guys decide how much decoration you want on your pages, okay? You could even add a couple of stickers in here somewhere. You can pull this border off and just have this piece. Lift it off here. Okay. Move your photos and stuff around a little bit. And just play with your page. That's the most important part, you guys, is just to play with your page. Okay. So I'm going to put this back on here just for now so you can see the double page. You could even do more peekaboo pockets on here. You would put your page protector on first, and then you would put your peekaboo pocket on top on the page protector. And then you have more room for photos. But hopefully I can fit this on here for you so you guys can see it. And here's your double page spread. See if I move this up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you liked it. Just a little bit of instruction on kind of playing with your pages to get things to look the way you want them to be, and then just going with it. Okay, have one more thing to show you. I'm not going to demonstrate this one, but I'm just going to show you a different border that I made. Okay, so here's this one. So this one would also then, you could substitute out something on the other page and just make two of these if you wanted. This one though, I took the yellow paper and I took a 2-inch piece. So this is a 2-inch piece. I scored it down the middle and folded it over. And then I put it in the paper holder here, okay? So when it's folded over, you want to make sure that the fold is on the left. So you're punching these edges right here, okay? When you put it in here, it's not going to fit all the way up to this magnet. So use some Post-it notes, okay? Just take a couple of Post-it notes, put it off onto the edge, and then it will hold it onto the mat or onto the magnet right here and punch it. Then you unfold it and you come out with that double-sided punch. Okay, isn't this cool? So then I put black behind it, added some of the red guitars left over from the other punches that I had made, and then added 2 more pieces of paper to mat behind the main part of the border here. So this was 2 inches. This next piece was 2¼ inches. And the last piece was 2½ inches. Okay, so there you go, guys. Just a couple of different ideas to use this really, really fun secret box paper. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I will have a new idea for you next week. Okay, talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great week. Bye.